You know what
Okay.
she's like.
I
So,
get it.
in boom, here we are.
Yeah.
Perth City Breakers show. My man Andre is in the house.
I am.
It's a long time coming. I'm
That's right.
super pumped to actually have you here. Because
It's a pleasure for me, man.
yeah, thank you, man. Thanks. So if people don't know who Andre is the guy that's what are you teaching? You teach breaking, you teach parkour, you teach tricking. What else do you teach?
Acrobatics, flexibility, strength, handstand,
everything, man.
graffiti,
Like
rap.
yeah, if you want to learn anything like that in that realm, Andre is the man to see in Perth, Western Australia.
Stop it.
Everyone says that. To be honest, when I first started breaking, and I said to Natty Nice, who's a b-boy I looked up to as well, and I said, man, I want to learn more power moves, and he was like, go to Andre. Like, everyone knows who that guy is to learn power. So yeah, man, super honored to have you here.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. I love the work you guys are doing here at Perth City Breakers. I've been watching.
Yeah.
You guys used my studio to start it, so it was very cool to have you guys there.
Yes, at the start we started using your studio space to start the podcast, but we moved here just because the scheduling is a lot easier. Yeah, but I'm there as well teaching.
Exactly.
At Studio
part
Dre.
of the team.
Yeah, part of the team. You got a good group of young kids coming through as well who are breaking. Super pumped to see them get better and better. So, yeah.
Isaac is like my own athlete. It's not officially, but I've been sponsoring this guy since the first time I met him, right, Isaac?
Yeah, pretty much. You kind of are like my sponsor.
Yeah, it's not paid, it's not money, but
it's out of love.
Yeah, it's out of love. Yeah.
You're a big brother to me as well, man.
Are you just gonna tell how I met you?
Yeah.
Yes, so I took two of my young students to King Street so they can get pumped, see all the breakers, and there was this guy like going on and on practicing one move, the halos, right? And if you're a b-boy, you want to learn a move, you keep working on that move over and over and over, and he wouldn't give up. And I saw attitude, no, it was EP, I don't know who, maybe Benny Ben, somebody was helping you, and I was like, hey, who's that guy? It's Isaac, man. He trains very hard. And I went there and say, hey, I want to be your coach. I want to train you. Do you remember that?
Yeah, and you were so straightforward. I was like, if you said that to anyone else, they'd probably be like, piss off, man. Like, what the hell?
That's crazy, man.
I was like, hell yeah, this is what I always wanted. I needed someone to guide me the right way.
Yeah, and you started in the HBF stadium and then slowly progressed to my studio because you started working every Wednesday with me.
Yeah. You told me to come to HBF with you. And I was with you every single week, learning power moves and drills, and I was like boring as shit, but I was
yeah, he didn't stop. I said you have to do this, and he kept doing, even though it was like he rolled his eyes a little bit, but he did it. You did it, right?
Yeah, and look what happened, man. Through this whole, I don't know how long I've known you for, 4, 5 years, something like that. And seeing you, where you came from, like the place to meet you was HBF Stadium. Now you've got your own studio.
Exactly.
Studio Dre. Like, wow, man. Like, I remember seeing from where not even your very beginning, but from where I've seen you from 4 years to now, just 4 years. You've grown a lot, man.
Thank you, man. I work very hard.
You do.
Yeah.
You do. That's probably why we get along well.
Exactly.
But, you're not from here, man. You're from Brazil.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And I was pretty honored you actually sent me to Brazil as well to train. And that was a dope experience. And Brazil is awesome, man. The best hip-hop experience I've ever had in my life. And people missing out, man. They are.
I keep saying, because in Perth, you got to do so much. And in Brazil, kids don't have as much. So when they have hip-hop, they embrace that because the only thing they have. So when you go to a jam and people do something cool in a cypher, everybody goes nuts because everyone is showing the passion in one time there. So it's crazy. So when you said, I want to get good, I said, Zach, maybe you should go do a I forgot the word,
like
man.
exchange.
Yeah, you go to Brazil, you learn Portuguese, another language, and you change your mindset. You see all the cultures, you break the culture shock, and you're gonna train with some people that are doing this every day.
And they show you how it's done, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what happened. It was a life-changing experience, yeah.
Most people go to Brazil for Copacabana, Rio de Janeiro, Bahia, but not the guy. The guy went from one of the most dangerous cities in São Paulo, Diadema City, man.
Yeah.
You can look it up.
Yeah. So you grew up in Diadema. So any person who's from Brazil that I met in Australia, and I was like, hey, I've been to Brazil. Oh, where'd you go? I went to Diadema. They're like, what? What are you doing there? So people who don't know, you grew up in Diadema.
Yeah.
Can you give us a background story on how you grew up and how you got into breaking and what the scene was like there?
All right. Okay. So Diadema is a city in São Paulo, right? Very close to the city center. And, you know, I got into breaking through school. Everyone's doing to my recess. They are doing. I was like, well, that's an interesting dance. Maybe I should try. But it's a silly dance. Well, I'll try when I get home because I didn't want to train in front of everybody. And as soon as I attempt my first move, I hit my hip, man, on the ground. And it hurt so much, man, that I want to call my mom. That's how much, you know when something hurts so much you want to call your mom? I was like, this is so hard. And then because it was hard, I was like, maybe I want to get into it, man. And then I started getting into it. And it was hard for me because, you know, man, I was the whitest guy doing breakdancing, you know. I was the white, so I got a lot of discrimination because people said, oh, you're too white, go play tennis, go, you should be in a boys band, you're from the Backstreet Boys. Because, yeah, you know. But what was hard, you know, but once I started getting better at the dance, I got the respect of them. I said, oh no, this guy is into for real. And they gave me the name of Alemão. Alemão is the word for a German guy. If you're German, you're called Alemão. And they said that I didn't look like Brazilian, look like a German, so they call me German, so I'm B-boy German, Alemão. You know, it was tough, you know, but once you're in it, the hip-hop, I don't know, you get a bit of respect from them, you know, yeah.
Being in the scene.
Being in the scene, yeah.
What was it that kept you in there though? Like, what made you love it so much? Because it was hard as well? Is it because it was hard and it's like, not normal people do this? Like, if I do this, I'm not normal. You know, is that what was going through?
Look, when I first saw windmills, I was like, I want to learn windmills, you know, I want to learn windmills. But when I got windmills, man, I was like, now I want a head spin. I want to learn the head spin. I want to flares. You know, we can be very greedy once we're in breaking. It was so hard, and because it was hard, it kept me pushing to learn more and more and more. Yeah.
Nice. And so in Brazil, you're learning how to break and stuff. Were there any other styles you were dabbling into that you were doing?
Oh, sure. I you know, back in Brazil when I first started, before YouTube, before internet, you know, we used to mix everything. From popping, we used to say, is dance robot dancing. And when it had a dance battle, we used to mix everything. I used to do a bit of popping, I used to do style, footwork, and we used to call footwork, if you translate from Portuguese to English, tapping. You know, you say we're tapping on the floor because we didn't know the name. Once the internet came, and then we learned the real names. And it was a mix of everything, Isaac. That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
we used to mix.
You just saw it all in person in the scene. There was nothing, there was no internet, there was nothing.
Nothing. It was
no VCRs.
No, they had VCRs and big cameras, and once the first tapes came from Europe, and then you watch people doing outside, and I was like, oh my god! Right. And then we saw that they used to call different from us, but we kept calling with our Portuguese names. It's only changed when YouTube came, and then we start instead saying moinho de vento, we start saying windmills.
Ah, right. Yeah. Okay. So what was the hip hop scene like in Brazil for you in the experience? What were the people like? What was going on?
You know, I've been to Europe, I've been to Australia, but in Brazil I find that the hip hop scene was more connect. Was the four elements connect.
Yeah.
For example, I used to graffiti as well as break. I used to have DJ friends, I used to have MC friends, and we go to the same places. We are breaking here, people graffiti on the wall there, and people better MC there.
Right.
You know, so it was very, very. You went to the hip hop house. We have in Brazil a place called the Hip Hop House, and the first hip hop house in Brazil was in Diadema. And what's the hip hop house? It's a house that teach the four elements of the hip hop for young kids that has no future. Would say from poor communities, they haven't got much privilege, so they come to there and the government pay for them. So they have DJ classes, they have MC classes, they have graffiti classes, they have breaking classes, and they go further. Sometimes they have circus, or they can learn a career. So it's pretty cool. So I think the hip hop scene in Brazil is pretty much like back in. It's not different from when they started on the Bronx. You know, was from a tough environment, and the hip hop changed people's life.
Yeah.
You know, today I'm a business owner and I live in Australia. But what brought me here was the breaking.
Yeah.
I finished a degree because breaking. I'm a physics teacher, and because I like being aware of my body, I like to teach, and then it took me to teaching. Yeah, man. So. Yeah.
And it seems obviously with Studio Dre, that's your inspiration for Studio Dre was from the Casa do Hip Hop, the House of Hip Hop in Brazil.
Exactly.
I picked
it up there very well.
There. They're teaching all the elements there, and you also teach all the elements at Studio Dre as well. You got next week you've got a hip hop day as well.
Yeah, where we teach
all the elements too. That's awesome.
Yeah, the four elements of hip hop.
Absolutely. I spent a lot of time there too, and I got to experience all of that, man. And like I didn't even speak Portuguese.
Did you go to every last day of the month? They do a party. Did you go there?
Yeah, that was sick. Okay, now this is for me as well. Where you're saying, it's not much different from how the Bronx is. I mean, I can't really speak for that because I haven't been there.
Too.
But man, it can't be that far off.
They say block parties, eh? They close the block.
They close the damn street down and have a party, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They literally cut the street off, and there's people on there, and there's just people making fires, making circles, dancing, having beers, dancing with girls.
Graffiti on the wall, DJ
graffiti
on the wall, and people from all over São Paulo, and even sometimes from further, they come in a bus or in vans, and they block the street. It's pretty goddamn cool. They call hip hop in action. Is that what they call the day? The last month of the day they do the hip hop in action, where the hip hop is in action. The four elements working together.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I want to go back.
Yeah, why not?
You must miss it, bro.
Last time I went there was when I shoot the documentary from Strength Project.
Go on. So you shot a documentary there as well.
Well, there's a YouTube channel called Strength Project.
Yeah.
They flew me to Brazil to help introduce the people in the community and to translate a documentary where to talk about kids who become the best what they do without having much. For example, the acrobats we interview, they learn tricks without trampoline, without a crash mat, or on the grass. So that was very interesting. Went to Rio, Bahia, and Rio de Janeiro. Did I say that right?
Yeah, you said that.
Yeah, Rio, São Paulo, and Bahia to interview. Was pretty cool, man.
Nice. Oh wow.
Called Favela Heroes.
Yeah, I saw a snippet of that actually.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, and what other experiences or could you give us any stories that happened in Brazil, like in some battles or in events that were happening down there? Because when I was in there as well, I got told where Luan, B-boy Luan from Funk Fockers took me through the city as well and was giving me a bit of a history lesson on like things that used to go down in the city. Is there any like real flashbacks that stick with you?
Oh yeah.
Could you give us a story?
So check this out. I'm an old school guy, right? My peak time was from 1994 to 1999 when I was really into dancing. But today is all about you going to enclosed place. You're going to a battle. You're going to watch a IBE or Battle of the Year or to a jam. But in my days, we had a place called the São Bento Metro Station. It was a São Bento station where people used to gather every Saturday. So every Saturday, I would look up to go to that place. I couldn't wait Saturday to arrive so I can go to that place, right? And as soon as the metro stops, the subway stops, you come out, you go upstairs and you see that bunch of huge b-boys. And that was like huge, lots of ciphers in one place. And each cipher they were doing something. Here they were doing style, top rock footwork. Here they were doing flips battle. Yeah, I used to do flips battles, crazy. And popping battle, and power moves battle. And sometimes if you hear somebody say, "É racha," which means racha is the word for to break, you know, and it means battle. It's battle time. And then all the other ciphers would run to their cipher to watch two guys battle. So, and it's not like today you have 3 rounds, right? 3 rounds and you decide the winner. That was like, you battle until you get tired, man. Like, who can host the most? You keep battling until you're dead. And then people would scream and I got to experience this once and I felt good because, I must be getting good because everyone came to watch my battle. I was battling this guy and everybody's screaming his battle. Everyone came to watch me and I thought it was pretty cool, right? Yeah, so that memory sticks in my head, man.
How'd you go?
To this day.
How long did you last?
Man, I went until my legs were wobbly and my heart was like nearly popping through my throat. But it was pretty good.
Damn.
Pretty good. I got people, and then because there was no internet, right? There was no Facebook status. There's no sharing things. So it was just people telling stories. So your name would go from mouth to mouth, and I was from São Paulo and I got known all over Brazil just because one battle and people talking, and when they finally met you, you that guy that people talking. It was so cool, man. So yeah,
makes all the hard work worth it. Hey,
yeah, man.
Those moments, man. That's dope. Okay, so then you decided after having such so much going on in Brazil, like you were just flourishing, the whole scene over there was flourishing.
Yeah.
It kind of still is, man. Like it's big over there. And then you decided to leave Brazil.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why did you decide to leave?
Okay. I finished university and I was working in a sport club, like let's say HBF Stadium, it's health and a sport club I was teaching gymnastics and soccer and swimming. And I got invited to do events. So I was running jiu-jitsu competitions and I was doing super well.
You were running jiu-jitsu competitions?
Yeah, I was.
Jiu-jitsu as well?
No. I was helping to organize. I was one of the organizers.
Yeah.
And I was like, what if I can use this knowledge and do my own breaking competition, and I bring people from all over the world if I improve my English because I could speak a little bit. And then Isaac, at that time there was no Brazil, there was no freestyle session, there was no there was no Brazil event at that time that big with international people coming. So I was like, maybe I'm gonna go experience all that. I come back with a better English. And I do competitions bringing Korea, bringing US to Brazil to battle. I'll be the MC, that was my idea. So first I was going to US, but because I have so many illegal cousins in US, I'm sure they were gonna deny my visa, right? And I said, maybe I'm gonna go to England. And my friend said, Andrea, what the hell are you gonna do in England? It's cold, you're from Brazil, go to Australia. Australia is the same color flag that Brazil, same climate, and the people are as warm. They are not cold like England. So go to Australia. I was like, Australia, man? So I started looking up on the internet at that time on Google. That was 2004, right? 2004, 5. And I spoke to a guy that used to run a big website in Sydney called, I don't know, some hip-hop something, I forgot, I'm sorry. But he said, dude, I can see you like power moves. If you like power moves, go to Perth, because Perth has the best power moves. I was like, that's it. So when I went to talk to the English people school, he's like, yeah, Andrea, go to Perth, because there's no one speaking Portuguese there. The Brazilian community there is zero, and you're gonna learn English as fast. I was like, great, they're gonna learn English, no Brazilians, and a lot of power moves. So I tried to come in 2005, didn't work. When I came in 2006 here, the power move scene died.
Oh no.
Yeah, but I already knew a few people here. I used to exchange message with Benny Benz, EP, and Benny Benz, EP,
Edit.
Yeah, I used to talk to them. But guys, when I stepped in Perth and I saw every corner there was a playground, there was no graffiti on the wall, there was no destruction, there was no holes on asphalt, no rubbish on the floor. I was in love. Felt like I was living. I was like in a plaything, like a Barbie's house. Everything I looked was Barbie's house, you know. And then I was like, it blew my mind, because man, I come from the ghetto.
You come from the favelas, man.
I come.
You live in a box with like 5 people in it or something, right?
Exactly. So when I came here, and then I got a job in Northbridge in a kebab shop, twice a week. And I was working 5 hours, 10 hours a week, and I was making more than a phys teacher working in the top places in Brazil. So I was like, I just called my mom, say, hey, I don't think I'm coming back. In 2 months here, I was paying my own bills. I know it sounds sad as heck, but I was paying my own bills. I bought a car and I had a phone.
Yeah.
Do you know how hard it was to get this in Brazil, these 3 things in Brazil by yourself in 2006?
Yeah.
It was hard.
It's not easy there, man.
Not easy.
Not easy there. Well, yeah, exactly.
So I thought, if I'm working as a kebab maker, what would it be like if I become a teacher? I would be heaps more. So I came to stay 3 months, and it's been 12 years. It's been 12 years because I couldn't go back. I missed the scene, I missed my friends, but Australia was so good to me. Everything that I couldn't achieve money-wise in Brazil, Australia, Perth was the place that did that for me.
And now you've got beautiful wife, you got 2 boys.
I got 2 Australians, you know, the mix of Aussie with Brazilian is the Australians.
Ayrton,
Miles, and Jennifer.
And now you got a thriving business.
Yeah,
this guy. Zero to hero, man.
My gym.
Started from the bottom now.
My gym is like, I think I told you that. Is a dream that I had when I was 14 years old. I was like, what it would be like if I had a place that has a tumble floor for me to practice my flips and a breakdance floor. And then, boom. It happened. It took 12 years. I worked everywhere in Perth. I saved as much as I could. And now I have a business teaching what I learned as a kid to teaching kids what I learned as a kid. So it's amazing, man.
Yeah.
So that's how I came to Perth. I came to perfect my English to do b-boy events. And I ended up...
You ended up staying here. Making a splash, man, in the scene. Doing a lot for us, and for me. Yeah, man, I'm grateful for that. one thing that we have in common is we're breakers, and breaking has done a lot for myself and has done a lot for you. So could you elaborate a bit more on why breaking is what it's done for you, and like what kind of attributes has it done for you to help you grow and develop as who you are today?
Okay.
What skills has it given you?
All right. So I grew up in a family that was surrounded by love. You know? So it made me have a golden heart. And I got bullied a lot at school. And people used to say I was ugly. I had my legs was in. What do you say when people call you?
Crooked.
Yeah, my leg was crooked. People used to make fun of me, call me Frankenstein. So around my teens, I didn't have any confidence, you know? I didn't have any confidence. But when the break came to my life, and I had to train so hard to learn the moves, and I go to place and people say, hey, nice move, man. And people start talking about me and say good things about me. It kind of broke that belief that the bullies put in my head that I was a Frankenstein, that my legs are crooked. And I was like, if my legs are crooked, why I can do so much? And everyone, so it broke that. And I achieved so much with that belief, because man, to learn breaking is so hard. You bleed from, you get bold from. You learn how to spin, you get bold here, you bleed here. You know, some people even break stuff. It's hard. It makes you go there, Isaac, and persist. And with that thought, making me go through university, and people doubted me to start a YouTube channel, which is very good in Brazil, to my business, when people said, no, Andrea, look, are you sure you're going to open a business? You may lose your house. There's so many out there. And I was like, but that's okay. I know I can do it. I know if I can be the best one. If I do everything that I did to learn flares, to learn head spin, to active and break, that mindset is with me and anything I want. And I've seen this happen in numerous times. There's so many people in Perth that has the same mindset and achieve so much. So making me believe myself, breaking has done that to me, Isaac. I think it was one of the things that I'm more like breaking. It took away the bullet thoughts and make me believe myself and speak to myself and say, oh, I'm good at this. I can do this. Yeah.
It made you confident. It made me confident. I can start talking to people. Like being able to perform in front of people. Like I don't get stage fright. I mean, if it wasn't for breaking, you know what I mean? Even doing like a podcast.
Exactly. Yeah. And you see how this, and only 4 years, right?
Yeah.
How much you change and you grow, bro. You know?
Right.
This is amazing. And if you be able to teach this to any kid, for example, back in my days, you start this with 14. Today, kids are starting with 4, 6, 7. If a kid can feel that they are good and they can perform in front of people, when they come to high school and they need to perform an assignment, or if they go into a job interview, that's going to be easy because they perform in front of people. So it's going to be easy to go ask for a job or talk in front of people. Right, Zach? I think you can go through any interview now. You can go talk to anybody. You can do a pitch because you're going to be able
like
to.
You're saying, it builds resilience for you, and that's, builds resilience. It builds your character. You can go through a lot of hard things because it's a journey, man. Like doing anything, like for you starting a business is a massive journey for you. To learn one move is a journey. Yeah. It's a love-hate relationship you make with that move, right? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And through teaching as well, you've been teaching some pretty cool athletes as well, right? Is there any in particular people that you've been teaching or involved with?
What do you mean?
Weren't you with like some ninja warriors as well? Students, and you had like gymnasts who were students?
Well, I managed to train. I was lucky enough to have people with me that they succeed very well in hip hop. We have Guinho, that was one of the top power moves in the world. I had the privilege to work with him and help him through some moves. I wouldn't say that I taught him, but I taught the concept to believe himself, you know. And through the same concept, he learned a lot of languages, you know. He opened a successful YouTube channel. He's doing very well. We have Amendoim as well, that I work with him today. He's one of the most prestigious b-boy in Brazil, and he also will come up with a brand.
Yeah.
But in Australia, working for so many years at HBF Stadium, I managed to work with people that I stunt. They in the movies today. The last Mulan movie now, one of the stunt guys came and learned from me. The Ninja Warrior winner, Ben Poston, he was in my acrobatic class. So I had the privilege to work with and know we have, what's his name? He's an actor now in London. Axel, he's doing so well. Shout out to Axel. Yeah, my boy Axel is doing super well. Axel is a hip hop dancer / b-boy actor from Perth.
Okay.
That he was doing so much in Perth, and then he said, if I want to succeed, I need to go. So he moved to Europe, starting there working pubs. Now he's doing lots of commercials, movies. So he's caving himself in, and he's doing super well, and I had the privilege to work with him.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you work with Cy Monster?
Oh no, Cy Monster, I was a fan, and I got an opportunity to go to Melbourne, and then I call him, like, because I'm a poker face, so I just introduced, hey, I'm Andrea from Brazil, I would like to interview you. That was like, sometimes met you, man, like, and we become great friends. Yeah, and then he came to Perth a few times, did a few travels.
And workshop at your studio?
Yeah, he did a workshop in my studio.
That was wicked.
That was crazy. I helped him with a workshop in Ninja Academy. I was doing the filming for him. Yeah, so we developed a great friendship.
See him everywhere now. All the ads on Instagram and YouTube.
Yeah, he's becoming huge, man.
Yeah.
Selling his course online. He's doing super well. Shout out to you, Cy Monster.
Yeah,
keep it up, boy. Yeah.
You ran some like pretty awesome dudes, man.
Yeah, I was
Even
privileged.
Pioneer like a Mandarin. Mandarin. I lived with your best friend in Brazil. That was a cool experience. He was the best power mover in Brazil, man.
Yeah.
And I learned so much from him. He
learned a lot from you too.
Yeah,
because he believed that he had big legs and he couldn't dance in a small place. And he said that Isaac made me dance in a space, and I didn't only dance as I spent hours training that spot until I couldn't even move, and I didn't even hit my couch. But he never trained in small spaces.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a privilege. It was a really awesome experience. He was living with his family, and that was fun, man.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of heavy hitters in Brazil. Dude, those guys are actually doing next level moves. Like, I remember, I think it was it was Luan. I was at an event in Brazil, and Luan was like, yo, check this guy out. And he's like, this guy has no fear. I was like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean you got no fear, man? And he's like, check this out. This guy does a flip and then lands into a suicide. Like, he does backflip, lands in a suicide, and bounces up like this.
Was that Alan by other? Alan?
No, man.
Because there's some guys that they have no fear to break their neck, man. This is crazy.
Yeah, and they're like, yo, this guy actually loses he's lost his memory.
Oh, is that you're talking about Alan? Yeah.
Must be.
There's Alan. He lost his memory and stuff, and you know some people check so much crazy moves. Now I'm an adult, right, and I have to work. So I always think about what if something happened to my body, but. Sometimes they doing doubles, man. If you mess up a double, that's it, man. It's not like you're gonna have insurance or anyone to cover you or to give you support. Nothing, and they do just out of love.
Yeah,
you know.
They have though. Hey, it's it kind of makes you feel a bit like a pussy, man. Like be straight up real, man.
Yeah.
Because You sent me there to harden me up. Yeah.
Because that's what I tell my students, because sometimes they are, even with all the drills that I have, they are scared to do things on a mat. I was like, brother, you scared to do this on the mat? There's people learn this on the grass. They only have the grass or the sand.
Concrete.
So, yeah, my idea was send you there so you have the same. I came here in a shock of reality, you know, but because I went through so much in Brazil, I came here. I was like, every opportunity I took, I embrace, you know. And I was like, maybe if I send Isaac there and he's gonna see what they go through, when he come back and he see, wow, actually I'm very lucky, let's make the most. So that was my idea, send you there, man.
Absolutely.
When you told me I wanna be one of the best, I was like, go there, not because in Brazil are the best people, but are the most passionate about it, you know?
Absolutely, it's actually their life.
Yeah.
Like when I was there as well, I was hanging, like, they literally at the traffic lights, there's people breaking, or they're not even breaking, some people doing circus tricks, magic tricks, but people literally, as their life job, they wait for the traffic lights and they start doing power moves in front of the traffic lights for entertainment, and then ask for money. Or like I was busking with like the funk fuckers on the train, or other dudes too, man. And we were just busking on the train to get money. Like, that's their job. They're like, oh yeah, we just catch the metro up here and then back, and we'll catch the metro at the end of the day all the way to a jam. So we dancing all day and then end up at a jam. You know? And
I used to busk, man, and it's so funny because when I met my wife, and I was in Cotslow, the Cotslow Hotel with her, and then I lost my wallet, and then I didn't have money, and we were hungry. And then I went in front of that kebab and I danced a little bit. And when I was everyone gathering to watch me, and then I took my hat and people donate. My wife was so embarrassed. But hey, we could go back with the taxi. Back then there was no Uber back then. And we went back to taxi and then we had a kebab. So through what I learned in Brazil, the busking, man.
What?
She tells this story to all of her family.
You lost your wallet.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm hungry. We need to get home.
Yeah.
You start busking for money. You're like, I know how to make some quick coin right now.
Yeah, I make a quick coin. She was very embarrassed, but she admits she was impressed.
That's impressive. Man.
Yeah, because people, you need your license, a permit to busk here, right?
True.
She's like, you can't do this, Andrea. I was like, well, if the cops catch me, I was like, I'm from Brazil. I don't understand the rules.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow, man, that's a funny story, actually.
Yeah, man.
More stories like that?
So let me see. Well, one funny story is that, you know, I came from one of the most dangerous cities in Brazil, and I come to Perth and I get stabbed. I got stabbed in, what's that train station in a city close to the Bell Town? Forest Chase? No.
The Perth Underground? Elizabeth Quay?
No, that was before having Elizabeth Quay. Anyway, that train station close to the Bell Town, I was training with, you guys must know him, he's very well known in house dancing, B-boy Johan.
Yeah, Illy?
Illy was a sick power mover, you know, when I came to Perth, and one of my best friends, we were training, and once we finished our training, right, Isaac, we were putting our clothes on, I was putting my shoes on, and he was putting his bag on, and then this guy came and asked for $2. Hey man, do you have $2? As I say, oh sorry man, I don't have the money. I don't have $2. And then he approached to my wallet, and then I stood up in front of my wallet, and then he said, oh, you're not gonna get $2? So he put his hand in his pocket, right? I was like, he's gonna get the gun, you know, in Perth. So when he put his arms out, he had a scissors through his fingers. And when I did this, he started punching me, right, with the scissors. And I slipped off because I was wearing socks. I landed on the floor and he started chucking jabs on me. And I was doing this, and then one got on my arm here. And then when I stood up, I managed to run away. And then he went after Illy, right? And then Illy, man, he's a sick dancer, but he's very small, you know, this guy was huge. And then I was like, I'm gonna run and kick him in the back. So when I run and I tried to jump to kick him, I was wearing my socks, so I slipped off, I landed on the floor again, was a totally fail. And then Johan, Illy started running towards to the train station, and I was running after the guy. So it was like, Illy running away from the guy's trying to get Illy, and I was running after the guy. And then I managed to jump, and like people doing footy, I think jumping, I tackled the guy, we fell on the ground, and then the security guy came by and said, yeah, let go of this guy. I was like, he's attacking me with the scissors. He's like, no, he's not. Yeah, look his hand. And when the security came and hold his hand down with the scissors, and then the security guy said to me, hey bro, you need to look after yourself. You're bleeding. I said, no, I'm not bleeding.
There?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh my God.
And I said, you're not bleeding. I said, yes, I am. So when I look my arm, this was like blood. And then I did this, and then blood started coming out of here. And then in my head, I was like, what? The scissor went through. I look at here, I look at that. I was like, oh no. So I hold my arm and I started freaking out, right? I was like, oh no. Was a scissors? Where'd you get the scissors from? It went through. What if you get a nerve? And then while he was being arrested, I got taken to this just little room, the security room, and they called the ambulance for me, right? And then I had to have surgery, and the guy got arrested because he lied his identity, and he was holding a weapon. So I got surgery here. It just touched my nerve, but it didn't cut. But it just, let's say, scratch, and I didn't lose any mobility in my arm. I just got tingling for a few.
It's good now?
It's good now, but imagine me telling my mom,
In Perth.
I got stabbed. Said, no, you did not got stabbed. Yeah, I got stabbed. You come from here, never. And I only got gun pointed, but nothing worse in Brazil. But here, I get stabbed in Perth. But the good thing was, in 6 months, I went to court, and then he got arrested for a year. And then I got approached by the criminal, what's the word?
Or whatever.
Yeah, no, there's something that, and then they helped me with money. I got 6,000 for the government.
Nice.
6,000, and I just had moved to a house with no air conditioning, so my air conditioner was thanks to that guy, man. Yeah, so there's a funny story there.
Wow. So you were just training with Illy. Who were you training with most of the time in Perth?
Okay.
Because how did that came? Because you came to Perth, and there was no power moves.
No power move. I went to King Street, and the only power move that was sick one was Natty Nice.
Natty Nice.
Natty Nice. I want to know him by Natty. Natty Nice, Johan, Alex, Tank.
Yeah. Lawrence.
No, Lawrence was not going there. At that time, Lawrence quit. At that time, he was into strength.
Oh.
At that time. So who else? But I'm very thankful to Benny Benz, EP, and Enrico and Edith. They kind of embraced me and helped me introduce to everybody, help with my English. That was super cool. But Illy was one of the guys. Illy and Alex, the people that I trained the most when I first came. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Where were you guys training? Because what was the scene like then? What year was that too? 2006?
2006, September 2006.
Right.
So when I came, we still have the bridge and Forest Chase.
I always heard about that.
Yeah, that was a sick.
What was it like?
Oh, great. They used, sometimes even the DJ used to bring the techniques and the speakers, and we have some people like doing scratches and freestyle while we're breaking. Oh. And there was a DJ called Cut Nice, I think. Cut Nice, yeah.
Nice.
He used to do some editings and videos. He gave me a tape. We used to go in front of Maya and break on the ground there. So was more than is today. Today is bigger, but indoors. Back then it was bigger outdoors, because once the bridge got knocked down, Perth stopped breaking outside, man.
Yeah. Because I had a lot of problems when I was breaking too, especially when my first 3 or 4 years, we started getting kicked out everywhere. Like there were security guards and like, you can't do that.
It happened to us a lot.
Yeah, they just kicked us out.
Why can't we just spin on the floor? What's the wrong word to spin on the floor?
Australian government, what's wrong, man?
We just spinning on the floor. Why?
Yeah, so
Every breaking goes through that, man.
yeah.
I got
In
kicked
Brazil?
out so many places, man. You know, even I used to train in front of a library in Brazil. And once I got kicked out, and I told my mom went and told the girl off, why my son cannot spin here? That was great, man.
Oh my god.
So every break goes through that, man.
Yeah,
Did you
right.
get kicked out many places, eh?
Bro, yeah, everywhere, man. Even Myers, we started getting kicked out at Myers, and that was like a known place for a couple of years.
Yeah, everyone used to break the
Yeah,
best.
we started getting kicked out of there. I feel like they deliberately changed the floor because people were dancing and skating at the post office. Now it's H something, HR or some clothing store, and they like put rough floor there. There's nowhere, I mean, unless we ask permission to do it on the stage. But I don't know if people would still be down. But it used to be like at the post office, it was always okay. But now, yeah, we just started getting kicked out everywhere, man.
Yeah, I don't know
What
why,
happens,
man. It's not like even we look bad. We all look fresh.
Yeah, man.
Right, we look good.
It's great. They're jealous, man.
Yeah, that's
Jealous.
crazy, man.
Okay, so when did you stop breaking completely? Like,
All right. Okay. I did breaking intense from 1993 to 2004. In my last year of uni, I had an injury on my hip, not related to breaking, believe it or not. It was the way I sleep for many years. I used to sleep like this, man, with one leg like that in bed.
what?
Yeah.
You're like stretching. You're obsessed with stretching.
Yeah, to be honest, was because I thought if I sleep like this, I'm gonna get more flexible. I know. I was in my last year of teaching sports, and I had that belief. I know.
Hardcore, man.
And then what happened was I had a rupture on the sock of my hip, what's this bone called again?
Oh, your thigh. What is that called? No.
Femur.
Femur. Yeah.
Femur, yeah, we say femur in Portuguese. The femur, my hip, the cartilage cracked.
Oh.
And I went to the doctor. The doctor said, "Oh, what you have to do is, I mean, if you get hurt in breaking, don't go to a normal GP. Go to a sport physio guy. Talk to them." Because I went to a normal GP. He said, "You need to rest." Well, I rest for 6 months. My whole body go weak, and because I was compensated with the other leg, but that 6 months I was with both legs stuffed up. And then I stopped for almost 6 months, so I was 1 year out. And I was like, no, I need to find a specialist. And I went to a specialist. He said, you can cure that with physio. I was like, if I only knew this from the start.
Oh my gosh.
So with physio, I was back in a game in 6 months.
Yeah.
But that was 2004 myself. 2005, I was finding cure. 2006, I came to Perth. So I came to Perth. Not in my peak, I was injured. You know, when the people saw me here for the first time, I was injured.
Yeah.
And then when I started making money here, like, I started to experience a life that I never had in Brazil. Because I was able to afford things. For example, one day, look at this mindset. My mindset, how was it? I never could afford the cool shoes. I never could afford a nice car. I never afford to be fresh.
Yeah.
And here I was making money, and then one day I work all night in a kebab. I was like, oh my God, I got that cash. I was like, what? I can buy a bike now if I want with 1 day work? Man, I can buy a bike. I can buy a mobile phone. I was like, it blew my mind, because you never, with 1 day worth of job in Brazil, like you're never gonna buy a bike, a mobile, nothing. Okay,
coffee, man.
the economy changed. It's 2000 back in 2006, but it blew my mind. So I started working in a circus company.
Yeah.
Escadada, one of the top here. I was teaching the kids and being the driver, and I was earning way more money. So I started quitting breaking and training circus anymore, because I was getting paid for well and enjoying being able to rent my own house, to live on my own feet, completely cut the umbilical cord from my parents. Because here in Perth you see 19 kids, 18 kids living by themselves, paying their own bills. But in Brazil it's impossible, man. The rent, you don't earn as much, you know. it's horrible. So I started to work more and more and more, and teach more and more and more. So I wasn't fully into break anymore. So as soon as I came to Australia, I pretty much stopped my career as a b-boy and started working being a coach. So the same intensity that I put in my breaking trends, I put in developing drills. All my experience that I had in Brazil with flips and power, I started breaking to my classes. And there was no one here in Perth teaching power moves. So I can say pretty much I was the first power move and flip coach in Perth, because there was none.
And now here you are.
Yeah, do you have a water, man, for me?
Yeah, well, we're gonna finish up now. Man, thank you so much.
No worries, Zach. It's nice
really
being here.
Episode, actually, I enjoyed this thoroughly, brother.
That was good. Thank you very much, man. Keep it up, what you're doing. No one's doing what you're doing, and it's very important because Perth had the best scene in Australia. You know, and it's up to we, the new generation, you guys, the new generation, to pump the young generation, because one day you guys gonna quit and not gonna have anyone to talk about. But if you keep pumping the generation, they all gonna remember, oh, you guys, Zach, you did the podcast, I watch you a lot. And so, you know, you learn the knowledge, you give it back to the community. So
each one teach one, man.
Yeah, each one teach one.
Each one teach one.
That's great.
All right, thank you so much, man.
You're welcome.
If you want to learn any crazy ninja moves, you know where to go. Studio Dre.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave my social media here. So
we will.
My studio is at Studio Dre. No, sorry, at Studio_Dre. That's my studio, and my own Instagram is at Power Tube Moves.
Yeah, Power Tube Moves.
Thank you for the opportunity, Zach. I love being here, man.
Thank you. You're a great talker, man.
No worries.
Cool.
I bet you.